Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori Shickalone and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. This is my second go round. I did the whole video, I re-watched it to make sure that for the most part it was okay, and then when I went to save it, it wouldn't allow me to save it, and somehow it saved itself, and then it had all these like different numbers to it, so I tried to at least save it and to rename it, and it said if I renamed it I couldn't use it or open it, and because I'm not tech savvy I had to just start all over. So I just hope that I remembered to tell you everything that I shared in my first video of this. Sometimes when you do it the second time you say, oh, I hope I remember this or that, and then you didn't, and then okay, another tangent. So welcome to my channel. I hope you have fun today. I hope you like what I'm sharing with you. I hope to see a lot of thumbs up and comments, and let's get started. Okay, updates. I've been busy preparing for the two showers, the baby shower and the bridal shower, so that's always been fun, shopping for it. I'm making 2 diaper cakes, and so I'm in the middle of figuring out what I'm going to decorate the cakes with. I'm thinking, at first I was thinking like little plastic things that you put around it, and then I thought maybe something like maybe a real pacifier. Of course, not take it out of the package, but a pacifier or baby bibs. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. If you have any suggestions, if you've done it yourself, I have some trim. I have ribbons, and I have pleated, not lace because it's a boy. Oh, did I tell you it was a boy? It's going to be a boy. But I have some kind of fancy stuff to put around the cake, but nothing to like decorate. I think I might buy some booties to put at the top of one of them. So again, if you have any ideas, let me know. We went and bought some flowers and vegetables for the garden. We don't have a real garden per se as far as vegetables. We used to have it as the trees in the area were cut down. The squirrels lost a lot of oak trees, and they come and they steal my tomatoes. So last year we had some tomato plants in planters, and they did pretty well. And what saved us from the squirrels getting them was the fact that I did use the Irish Spring soap. I put it in a dish right near the planters, and it kept the squirrels away. So as soon as the tomatoes start to turn a tinge of something other than green, the soap is coming out, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of a crop of tomatoes. We did get 1 pepper plant and 1 eggplant plant. Usually a couple of peppers came from it. We'll see. And then I planted some really hot peppers, tiny peppers like this. I had the seeds in the refrigerator of the pepper itself, so I just opened a pepper and just sprinkled it in, and it did grow. So see what happens with that. And that's about it. Oh yeah, one more thing. For the next four days I'm on this special diet, low fiber. The diet I got off the internet. It's in preparation of a colonoscopy. So yeah, so that's once you put diet in front of what you're doing, it's like you can't eat, so you want to eat. You can't have certain foods, so you want them. So anyway, so that's life. That's what's going on at the Shickalone home. Okay, let's get back to the end of Stitch Mania. These were the projects that I worked as new starts. The first one is Stony Creek, Autumn in the Village. I started in the center house, which is the bakery. Oops, that one. This one here. And I started it on May 15th. And the reason I remember that so clearly is because Ingabor was doing a special 4-day stitch along or make your work fit into her projects. And the first one was Frog. And I wasn't planning on it because I usually stitch what I have planned. But I did think about her. And I says, oh, frog. It could be either something green or something you have to frog that you've been putting off. So it just came to mind. So anyway, that night I started stitching this, and I did it on a 28 count ivory. And I got to about all the way down to the windows, and I realized the house was not symmetrical. And I says, well, you know, there's trees next to it. It could be like an extra leaf, but I just couldn't let it go. So I frogged from like here, the window section, all the way up. The outlining hadn't been done either. So, so I frogged it all. At first I stopped, and I was going to leave it, and I says, oh, I'll let it go, I'll let it go, let it go. And then I'm sitting there watching television, and I'm like, and this is like close to midnight, and I'm like, can't let it go. So I frogged it, and I restitched it. So that morning, I did not go to bed till 3 a.m. And then the next day, I did this blue section, and I outlined it. And I really like it. I mean, it's going to be a big project because it's a lot of dense stitching, but I think once it's done, it's going to be gorgeous. And I'm looking forward to that. The next new start I had was a Lila Studio Halloween Quaker. And I started up in this corner. And this motif alone was almost a whole skein of fancy floss. And oh, I have a little thread here, oops, which I actually did not notice in the video prior to this, that showed me the orientation, because I was turning this like crazy because I couldn't figure out the orientation of it on the screen. But of course I did figure it out afterwards. But anyway, so that's where I am. That was the start on Halloween Quaker, and that is on 28 count Lugana and Haunted that needleworkers dyed specifically for that pattern. The next one's a Lizzie Kate, excuse me, pair of pilgrims. And at first I was like, I'm going to do them separate. Then I said, no, I'll do them together. And then but I think I'm going to do them separate and, you know, just go with it. However it turns out, it turns out. It could be good, or it could be not so good. But it'll be fine. That's how far I've gotten in the 2 days. So I started with him, and this is on a 14 count, looks like a light mocha. And that's where I got on Lizzie Kate. Okay, those were the end of my new start. So then I looked at my whips, and I said, what can I kind of use as an autumn theme, because I did Stitch Mania as autumn. And I picked Little House Needleworks, Home of a Needleworker. And the last time you saw it, I did the roof and the top windows. So, and this is on a 16 count to bloom by Picture This Plus. And I love the fabric. I love how it's stitching up. I finished the house, and I did the leaves on the sides and the flowers. So, a lot to go yet, but I really like it. I don't know, I like the stitch. Sometimes everything just falls into place. The fabric, the colors. Yeah. The next one is Shakespeare's Peddler, Jenny Bean and Friends. I just watched Country Stitcher's latest video, and Deb showed her progress on this. Actually, she's almost completed. All she I believe is she has this brick house to complete, and it's really beautiful. I started at the top. So she's almost in. She started at the bottom, worked up. I'm at this house, which is a little persnickety. It's like, make it look like stone, but its pattern's difficult to read. Because it just is. So, something came out. And does it go in here? We'll put it on the side, figure it out later. And this is where I am on Jenny Bean and Friends. Since you've seen it last, I've filled in the section of the house started working on the outline here. I did the roof, Jenny Bean, and I believe G and H were there, and I put I, J, and K. I don't think I did the H. Yeah, I think I just did these three, and that built in the house. And this is on, oh, they called it Cameo. It's a 28 count Lugana in Cameo, and I got that at Needleworkers Delight. Then I picked up the Frosted Pumpkin, Once Upon a Time. It's funny, I have to think about if I'm saying Once Upon a Stitch or Once Upon a Time. And I worked on the October block of the month, and it was Cinderella and her lovely little pumpkin stagecoach. And this is, and I completed it. I completed that month. So I was, if I have room in my stitching, say Christmas stitching in July, which I'm planning on doing, I would have to work across, let's see, and fill in like the outline so that I can put the December block in, because that would be all the way over on the other side. So I haven't decided, because I'm technically won't be able to actually stitch on the December block, but I'll see if I have an opening, and if I do have to put something in July stitching, I will. The final one is for this month is Indigo Lane by Brenda Gervais. I got in one day last night, and tonight will be the last night of this. Today is May 31st. I don't know if I said that in my in this video. I know I said it in the last one. It's Friday. So I completed. This part of the house was completed, that was done. So I finished the windows, and then I finished filling in the whole bottom section of the house and the door. So tonight I'm hoping to get this motif in and the start of this, and see how far I get. So that's all exciting. So at the end of today, I will have 23 whips. And just like I've always been saying, like, people even ask, why do you want whips? And I don't know, it's something that I don't have to just keep stitching till I finish it, even though it's always nice to have a finish. It gives me variety of going back to something and seeing where I am, and moving forward again on it, even if it's not that much progress sometimes. But it's just fun. It's exciting. Oh, today I work on this, tomorrow that, for 2 days. I work on everything for 2 days, and I love that rotation. It works for me. So July, I will be starting a number of new projects, and I'll go over that at the end of June. And in June, I have some beginning new starts, and hopefully all but one will be a whip, because it's more stitching. And so that'll be added. And then in July, I have a bunch of, some I'll be able to finish and some I won't. So that'll add to my whip. And then maybe in August, like sometimes I say to myself, okay, August, I'm just going to work on whips. Every 2 days, something new. And then I see that pattern. So I'm not making any promises. I plan, and I replan and replan again. So, this is funny. I made a list of all my whips. And then I said, okay, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Let's plan what I'm going to work on in what month. And then I thought, how can I say that? Because I'm going to be adding more come June and July. So the best laid plans don't always turn out. So, starting of June, I'm going to start with my hands-on design and continue the series, and I'm going to be doing the August one right here. And I'll try to get in a little bit closer. And I'm going to be doing that on a 14 count Ada in Blue Whisper. Let's see if you can, I guess back here you might see it a little bit better. So, yeah, I'm going to do that one. It seems like the month I kind of decide of if it's a summer month, I want a lighter color. If it's a winter month, a darker color. So that's where I am. I'm just changing them up. I'm not making them all on one fabric. and just going for it. The next one is going to be a hands-on design. You had me at Flamingo. I'm going to do the little pillow. And I will be doing that on an 18 count Ada in ivory. You can't really, yeah. Ivory is almost like a little off-white maybe. The next one, and this is one of the reasons why I don't want to say I'm not going to start anything and just work on my whips, because I won this for Shirl from Tranquil Stitches shared this pattern with me, and it's Abbey Rose, and it's no matter how hard the winter, spring is sure to come. And I love the sentiment, and I would love to have the words on it, but I'm not going to do another one of these. I'm going to stitch this because I think it's so pretty, and I just love the colors, and I don't have much spring, so thank you, Shirl. And when I get patterns from people, I want to be able to stitch them, so I have to keep adding. So that'll be a June start. The next is, which is probably over my head, but I'm going to give it a shot, is Rosewood Manor Buckleberry Sampler. And this is going to be done on a 28 count ivory. Let's see. Okay, this is like a white, and this like an off-white ivory. So I'm looking forward to starting this, even though it might, like I said, it might be over my head, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Some of these I have the threads right in the these floss bags, project bags, and some of them I keep them in a box. I mean, if it's a large amount of floss, I keep them in a box numerically or alphabetically if they're fancy floss, and I work out of that, and then I store the box in this cabinet here. On the bottom shelf, which you can't really see, is boxes, little boxes, and I have them in there. And then when I go to work on it, I pull the box out, and that's the best. I don't have enough of those little boxes, so I put them in the bags, and then I pull out as I need. Sometimes people like to know how you do things, so I like sharing. This next one is a Lizzie Kate, and this was 4 seasons, and I have the spring one. I stitched this for a giveaway last May, was the giveaway at the New Jersey retreat, and actually Lisa Smith, Lisa Smith is the Kindred stitcher. I got her mixed up with Shirl, who's the Tranquil stitcher. So she pulled mine little pillow that I made of this, and so I was excited, and I says, well, I need spring stuff, so I'm going to do that one for myself this time, and I have to work on something for this year's swap. I haven't decided yet. So those are going to be my new starts for I want to make sure I didn't have any new starts, and then for the rest of the month until I do my next video, I'm going to incorporate these that I've started, these whips, and this one is my favorite one. There's no place like home except grandma's, and if everybody saw my video prior to this one, you'll know that I'm going to be a grandma for the first time, and I am above the moon. So this is how far I've gotten since you've seen it. Nothing's changed, but I will share. So I don't think I'll be able to finish it in just 2 days, but it'll be closer to a finish. And then I will have Tra La La Collection, Alice, and they stitched this on a 15 count cream. It's in French in the back. Right here, toile, cream, crema. But I did mine on a 14 count blue Ada, and I love my Alice. There you go. And so you can see where it is prior. So I still have a lot of stitching to do. I have the bow, the clock, the rabbit, the grass. So yeah, not in another rotation, but in another couple of rotations. So I'm just going to put these back in here. I have a galvanized tub there that I hold some of my stuff in. Okay, so those are what I will be working on prior to my next video. Okay, haul. I went to a church rummage sale and I picked up 3 frames for a total cost of $3. The first one is this one. Could go either way. And it's, I don't know if you can tell, it's a green, dark green with a little bit of distressing around it. And I find these frames and I buy them in hopes that I'll never need another frame because I have so many, but oh, there I am. That's the window that used to be behind me. And I got 2 frames like this. Different, but almost similar in size. 4x10s. And because they were different, I thought it would be good to have. Then I picked up some fabric at Needleworkers. Some I put in projects already, but basically it's a lot of 28 count Lugana in cream. Go back a little bit. This one is Parchment Ada, this top one. So you can see a little bit different of the cream. And then this is just finally white. Then I picked up 2 patterns. I picked up a Waxing Moon Design Summer Trio House Trio. And I have the spring collection and I believe it's the Christmas one. I do not have winter. But you'll see that Christmas one in July because that's when I'm going to start that pattern. And then finally I picked up this. I thought it was so adorable. Another Tralala collection on the beach, and I just love that pattern. And this was called for 16 count white fabric and linen, maybe. So I'm looking forward to that, starting those, but who knows when. So June I have some starts. July I'll have even more starts. And then for August, you know, you make these plans. August I says I will stitch, I'm shaking the table, I'm sorry. I will stitch on all my whips. But then I buy like this pattern and I want to start it. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to start anything. The beginning of August I will also be at the New Jersey retreat. And so I have to plan to see what I can stitch on, as well as chat and shenanigans, because that's what goes on at retreats. So I have to plan that. Like the best laid plans don't always work. I mean, I have this list that I made, and it's a list of all my whips, all 23, and then I had charted, like I just made a grid and the months of June through December, through the end of the year, and what projects I was going to work on months. But then when I, you know, like there's 31 days in a month from now until December. So that's either 15 projects in one, or we're working on 2 days at a time. But then so I wouldn't hit all 23, number one. And number two, what about the new ones that I'm starting in June and July? There goes that plan. Okay, so let's see what I have down in my notes. So I spoke about my whips, what I'm going to do for June. I'll share July's stitching of Christmas and July stitching in. Now, if I'm repeating myself, it's because I don't know if I said it in this video or the last video. But I know a lot of people have been saying that they're going to be doing Christmas stitching in July. So I think that's kind of cool that a lot of us are planning ahead of time to do stitching in July, whether it be ornaments or just projects, big projects of that have that theme. So I'll be looking for your videos as well. And for you those that don't make videos, and if you'd like to share what you're stitching on, if it is a Christmas in July time for you as well, I'd love to hear about it. Okay, so I guess we're on to finishes. These are finishes that I've had that's not stitching related. So this is a knitting little sweater that I made, and I finally finished it by adding the buttons. They're little race cars, and this is it's called a top-down sweater because you start at the collar, and then you work your way down, and you do this mostly on circular needles, and then you put the sleeve section on holders while you do the body, and then you come back up and pick up the sleeves and work them in the round, or you can work them flat and then sew them up. So that was the first finish that I had this month. And then the second one is a quilt that I finished since my last video, and it was no pattern. I just drew the whale, drew the sailboat, made, I believe they're 6-inch blocks, and if anybody wants to do something like this, basically this was a 12-inch block, and these were 2/6 that works into the 12-inch. My suggestion is cut your 12-inch block larger. This is was satin stitched on by machine. I was hesitant to do it, but it says it's handmade. Like, it is what it is. If there's an error, there's an error, but it's handmade. I did it. So my suggestion would be to do the satin stitching while it's not attached to the rest of it. I had pieced the whole top and then went back, so I didn't know if it was going to buckle it. I didn't know if it was going to pull, but luckily it didn't. But if I were to do it again, I wouldn't do it this way. I would have satin stitched it prior to piecing and then cutting it down to the 12-inch and then piecing it. So that's finished. I'm working on one more. I have books that went with the 2 quilts that I did finish. One that was the frog quilt that I showed you last video, and I found a book that says I Don't Want to Be a Frog, which I read. It was so cute. The next book I found for the whale one was The Whale and the Snail. If I found the book first, I probably, instead of the sailboat, I might have done a snail, but there is a boat in the story, so it kind of works out. Then I'm finishing up another quilt that I'll be able to share in my next video, and then I have one more quilt that I want to get done before the baby shower, if all goes well. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to tell you about a new Flosstuber I found. Her name is Kea, Kea Bea, Bee, and that's her YouTube channel. But she is Kea Bea and Tech Guy. Her husband, he just started cross stitching with her. She started out as a quilting videos, and she's a quilter, and she has been doing numerous quilt videos, and she just started adding Flosstube to it. So I believe when she does a Flosstube one, she puts Flosstube in the title, and her husband started cross stitching, and it's so nice to get to know them and then go back and watch some of her quilting videos, and then catch up with them as he's progressing on his cross stitching. So if you haven't seen them yet, you might want to give her a try. I'll put it down below, and that's that. And then I have one more thing I want to share with you. I finished this pattern. This was the high heels collection, and I showed it in my last video, and a lot of people were interested in and questioned me about, like, where did I get it. And I told them I'm at my needlework store. So when I was there last, I picked up a new one that I'm going to be sharing with somebody out there. So this is going to be my giveaway for this month. If you're interested in this, just tell me what your favorite flower is, and you'll be entered. The closing date is midnight, June 13th. On the 14th, I'll go through all the people who were interested, and I will make a list, use the random number generator, and pick the next winner. Linda Richter won the last. It was a quilt pattern that I gave away, and I mailed it out to her last Saturday. I was able to get to the post office. Hopefully it will arrive soon if it hasn't already. And that's it. So tomorrow's June 1st. I don't know if I'll get any stitching in. We're dog sitting for Ozzy, who is a rambunctious little puppy. Well, he's not that little. He's about 50 pounds. And he just doesn't sit still. So this ought to be interesting. It's the first time we're dog sitting for Michael and Rebecca. Her brother is in, so they want to spend the day and evening with them out and about. So, so that's what tomorrow is. Then the 4th is my colonoscopy. The 6th is a haircut. The 8th, Michael, Rebecca, James, and Amy will all be over. We're going to be celebrating birthdays that day. It's hard getting everybody together. James and Amy's birthdays in June, and it's hard to get everybody together on a certain date. Not everybody's available. Amy's in the show on Sundays. Father's Day is coming up. The showers are coming up. And then, like, right after Amy's shower on one day, the following day, I have a baby shower of a cousin's daughter-in-law that I have to attend. So it's all good stuff. It's all lots of fun. So we'll be getting together on the 8th, and then probably the week after that, at the end of the week, I'll be making my next video. Okay, so anybody interested? The giveaway. Do not say giveaway in your comment. Tell me what flower is your favorite flower. You must be 18 years or old, or 18 years old or older to enter. You have to be able to send me your address in either an email or a Instagram message. Those seem to work the best, but either way is fine. The giveaway ends June 13th, and that's it. I hope you have a wonderful beginning of June, and I'll see you soon. Happy stitching. Bye, guys.